Guys, it's going down. We got all these parts. Roll arms, solid bushings. What are these? Heims? Is that what the bros call them? Heims. Brand new coilover bushings. I hope you guys can hear me. Sorry for being so quiet. But it's really late here. And I'm pretty bored, so I just want to get stuff done. Before I take all this apart, I kind of wanted to film a short little clip of what I had in here, explaining what it does and why I'm taking it out. So this is my passenger side suspension components with my aftermarket drift knuckle. And basically what it does is it modifies the steering. That's all it does. We have our easy knuckle, that piece right there. So essentially what this version of the knuckle does is adds camber, and it also shortens where the tie rod is mounted. So the reason why I chose this knuckle, other than the price, is because it was simple. You got to keep everything stock, you know, and you get more steering angle, and it worked really well for me. But the problem with these things are they add camber via the knuckle. Basically, this is where the spindle is supposed to sit. What it does is it offsets it. I think that's about 25 millimeters. So it pushes it an inch out. It gives you more camber. And that's okay, the camber is okay, but the only problem is it puts a lot of stress on these bolts right here. So these knuckles, you know, they're known to break, so you have to put very strong hardware in there. If you don't put strong hardware in there, you know, you just have to check it a lot, you know, because sometimes it might go loose on you, or, you know, in my case, the bolt broke, and then the other one just got ripped out, and that's not good. So we're going to change this setup. Easy Knuckles came out with a V3 knuckle, and it kind of gets rid of all this, and it uses a different system, but still gives you a lot of angle. I'm going to film a little time lapse of me taking all this apart. It should be pretty quick. We're going to get rid of these, and we're going to put on something better. You have to extend your lower control arm. You have to extend it right here, about 40 millimeters. The bushings on my coilovers are pretty shot. It's not bad for 100,000 miles. Before I take these in, I just wanted to go over them, make sure they're not bent, because I know my caster arm is bent because I could see all the paint cracked around all the welds. But right here, it looks pretty straight to me. Before I spend all the money to get these extended, just want to make sure that I don't need to buy new ones. They look pretty good, so I think I'm just going to send it. Got everything off the car. I organized the left side and right side so I can kind of see, you know, what looks bent, what doesn't. But as far as wear items, everything's getting replaced. Well, I'm going to keep the brakes, I'm going to keep the coilovers, but I got a bunch of new parts on the way. Driver's side caster arm, bent. I gotta get new ones of those. Bolts are still good, rotor's still good. I get a new spindle because I ripped the bolts out of this one. So maybe I can tap it and use a bigger bolt for a backup. Coils are still in good shape. I'm gonna clean them up a little bit. Knuckles, trash. This inner tie rod, trash. The engine cross member bar that goes to the caster arms, bent. I unbolted my motor mount bolts, which are in here, so you'll have 2 on each side, 4 total. And then you'll have 4 for your power steering rack that I already have undone, so it's just hanging there by the steering wheel linkage. So I'm gonna do my power steering rack bushings. I'm gonna pull this thing out because it's literally So that's a piece of cake. So when I put that in, that'll be easy. I'm gonna replace my motor mounts. These are all messed up. So yeah, let's pull it out and I'll show you what's going on. I took a bunch of wood, then I got, what is this, a 6x6? I got a 6x6 under my oil pan. You don't want to put any direct pressure on it so it'll dent it. You want to put pressure all the way along. So that's what I did there. So now the motor is just sitting on this block, and then of course it's held up by the tranny mount, and then this is loose. Yeah, it's pretty bad under here. I think either my rear main is leaking, or on the CD009 there's 4 bolts. 2 right there, which are the ones I'm pointing at. Check my shadow. Ones I'm pointing at. And then there's 2 above. Now if you don't put Loctite or sealant, thread sealant in there, the oil can seep past the bolts and get out everywhere. So you know, I'm pretty sure it's transmission fluid, because my engine oil has never really been low at all. Racing motor mounts, they're not solid, but they're close. They're in between stock and solid. I got my 10 million dirt drop at Grange cross member. And then we got the normal steering rack mount here. Then we got the new cross member here with the 20mm push forward steering rack mounts. So yeah, this thing has seen better days, but it's still good. It's still good. We got these brand new Figs Engineering solid steering rack bushings. I asked him what's better for drifting, and he told me solid, of course. So we're gonna put the solid bushings in there, and we'll go from there. Hey guys, quick tutorial on how to remove bushings without a press. See, there's 2 steering rack bushings right here. And now I got my brand new ball joints, and I cut them up. Here's the ball joint. This spindle goes right there, here and here, and then comes the steering. This is where your tie rod connects. So now with these knuckles, it's going to be something a little different. The spindle goes here, low control arm goes here. So the tie rod used to go like that. So now it's almost in the same place. It looks like it's up a little bit and in a little bit. So that's what's supposed to give you your angle. So now that I have extended control arms, the tie rod's gonna need to go out further. So I got the same tie rods, but I got longer inner tie rods. These tie rods are supposedly off of like a older style Corolla but it looks like the part number matches up to like a RAV4 or something. So if you guys need more information on that, let me know and I'll give you the part number. It's a lot longer than the old one. I'd say a couple inches. So hopefully we don't have to cut that. First things first, we're gonna lay a quick coat of paint over this so it doesn't rust over time. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Look at it like this. This thing is tweaked. Okay, I got all these parts. Everything's cleaned up. Threads are cleaned up. And they're all ready to go on. The upper control arm's already on because it was ease of installation. And the rest will bolt right up. Shouldn't take too long. Let's get to it. Not too shabby. So I still don't have the rotor and the caliper on. I don't have the caster arm bushing, but everything inside is done except of course the steering arm. I just kind of put a fender on to show you how wide this is. Look at that compared to the back wheel. This thing is wide. Super wide. Update. It only rains when I'm trying to get shit done. So, yeah. Basically all I gotta do is put on the calipers and the tie rods and we are done. So I can't really get the alignment adjustment I need because my car is way toe in, so to get more toe out, you need a angle grinder. So I'm gonna cut 1/2 inch off here. I'm gonna cut 1/2 inch off the inner tie rod and hopefully that'll give me the toe out that I need so I can get me to 0 toe. So basically the front end is done, but I still need to make a few alignment adjustments. But you're looking at about -6 degrees of camber. And I tried to zero out the toe, maybe it's a little bit toe in. But it looks pretty good. And both of the sides match. Let's go ahead and put it at full lock real quick. Well, it's technically not full lock. Something's hitting, I don't know what is. If you look right there, the wheel almost hits the tie rod, very close, doesn't hit it. But the tie rod hits the bolt for the caster arm. Right there. The 2 bolts that bolt the caster arm in on the lower control arm. And that is where it hits. It looks pretty good on this side. The relocated rack helps a lot. It's not even close to the sway bar. Really good angle, but everything has to be perfect in order to make it work. Well guys, that's it for the front end. I'm going to work on getting new tires for my new wheels that aren't on yet, and I'm going to work a little bit more on the alignment. But other than that, she is done. Stay tuned for the next video guys. We're going to be doing the rear end. So we ended up pulling the whole subframe out. It's gonna be a lot of work, So stay tuned for the part 2.